The video on your screen didn't fall from the sky. It swam across the planet as millions of tiny numbered packets racing through glass cables on the ocean floor. Let's follow one, step by step. Right now, invisible pulses of light are sprinting through hair-thin glass threads under the sea to reach you. Nothing's really floating up above. The internet is a machine you could almost touch. So you tap play on a cat video. To you, it feels instant. But behind that tap, your phone kicks off a wild journey across the world. Let's slow it right down and watch. Here's the first secret. To a computer, everything is just numbers. That cat video, this sentence, your voice notes, all of it is really a giant list of ones and zeros called bits. Think of bits like Lego bricks. The same two tiny bricks, a 1 and a 0, can build a text message, a song, or a whole movie. Only the pattern changes. But a whole movie is millions of those bits. Way too big to send in one giant lump. So the internet does something clever. It chops your message into small chunks called packets. Picture mailing a thick book by ripping it into single pages, writing an address and a page number on each, and posting them separately. Packets are exactly that. Little numbered postcards of data. Every packet gets a label. It says where it's going, where it came from, and which piece of the message it is. That way, even split up, the pieces can find their way and line back up. Your cat video isn't one thing traveling. It's thousands of these numbered packets, each setting off on its own. Now they need an address to aim at. So where exactly are they going? Every phone, laptop, and server on the internet has its own numbered address, called an IP address. It's like a house number, but for machines. So packets know exactly which door to knock on. But wait, you didn't type a number. You typed a name, like youtube.com. And here's the thing, computers don't actually understand names. They only speak in numbers, so something has to translate. That translator is called DNS, the internet's phone book. You hand it a name and it looks up the matching number, the IP address, and hands it back. Name in, number out. Simple as that. It's just like your phone's contacts. You tap grandma and it dials her number for you. You never memorize the digits. DNS does the same for every website billions of times a day. Quick surprise, the old address system had about 4 billion numbers. Sounds huge, but we made so many phones and gadgets that we actually ran out back in 2011. So we invented a bigger system. The new system, IPv6, has so many addresses you could give one to every grain of sand on Earth and barely make a dent. We won't run out again. Okay, our packets have a number to aim at. So your labeled packets leave your phone. But your phone has no wire in your hand, so how do they escape? The very first hop is a little invisible leap through the air. Here's a myth worth busting. Wi-Fi is not the internet. Wi-Fi is just radio, the same idea as a walkie-talkie, carrying your packets a few meters from your phone to the router. That's all. That box blinking in your house is a router. Your packets hop by radio to it, and from there they need a real wire, because the actual internet begins the moment they leave your walls. A cable runs from your home out to your internet provider. The road crew call it the last mile. It's the on-ramp where your little packets merge onto the giant highway of the world. Now, the real journey. Packets don't fly straight to their target. They travel in short hops, passing from one machine called a router to the next, each one nudging them a step closer. Each router does one simple job over and over. It looks at a packet and asks, which neighbor is closer to the destination? Then it passes it that way. No single router knows the whole route. It's like finding a stadium in a strange city by asking people on the street. Nobody knows the whole way, but each one points, it's that direction. And hop by hop, you still get there. And here's a twist. Your packets don't all take the same road. Like a family driving to one party in separate cars, they split up, take different routes, and can arrive completely out of order. That's fine, because remember those page numbers? When the packets arrive jumbled, your device reads the numbers and slots them back into perfect order, rebuilding the exact file you asked for. But for a website across the ocean, where do these packets actually go? Not up, down, way down, into the cold, dark water. And this is the part almost nobody pictures. Almost all traffic between continents runs through fiber-optic cables lying on the ocean floor. Real cables on the real seabed, carrying your packets as flashes of light through glass. This is the physical internet. And no, despite what it feels like, your data mostly does not go through space. Satellites carry only a tiny sliver of the traffic between continents. The heavy lifting happens underwater, in the dark. Here's the wild part. A cable carrying an entire continent's internet can be as thin as a garden hose. Inside is a thread of glass, thinner than a hair, glowing with pulses of light. Stitch all these undersea cables together and they'd stretch well over 1 million kilometers. Enough to wrap the planet many times over. A hidden nervous system of glass sunk beneath the waves. The light races at about 2/3 the speed of light. Mind-bendingly fast, but not magic. Distance still costs time. A packet crossing the planet and back really does take a real tiny moment. Want proof it's all physical? In 2022, an undersea volcano snapped the single cable feeding the islands of Tonga. Just like that, a whole nation was cut off from the internet for 38 days. And cables break all the time, roughly 200 faults every year. The culprit usually isn't sharks or spies. It's ship anchors and fishing gear snagging the line by accident on the seabed. So special repair ships sail out, haul the broken cable up from the deep, and splice the glass back together by hand. The internet has a pit crew, and most of us never knew. After all that, the hops, the ocean, the light, your packets finally arrive somewhere. Their destination is a powerful computer called a server, whose whole job is to hold the video and hand it out. People call this the cloud, which makes it sound like your stuff floats in the sky. It doesn't. There is no cloud. It's just someone else's computer, a very real machine in a very real building. Those servers live in windowless warehouses called data centers, rooms packed wall to wall with humming computers and blinking lights. Your photos aren't in the sky, they're on a shelf, in a building, on a map. There are over 1,000 of these giant data centers around the world, with more than half in the United States. Real buildings, using real electricity that you could genuinely point to on a map. The relationship is simple. You're the client, the server is the kitchen. You send a request, send me that video. And the server answers, sending its own packets back to you. Ask and answer. And one web page isn't a single ask. Loading a page can be dozens of these little request and answer trips. For the text, the pictures, the buttons, all happening in the blink of an eye. Now, the server's packets make the whole journey in reverse, through the cables, across the ocean, hopping router to router, heading back to one specific machine out of billions, your device. But your packets crossed a lot of strangers' machines to get here. So what stops a snooper on cafe Wi-Fi, or anyone along the path, from reading your passwords and private messages? That's what the little padlock in your browser means. It's called HTTPS, and it scrambles your packets into a locked box only you and the server can open. A snooper sees the box, but never inside. One more myth. Hitting delete doesn't erase something from the internet. Copies linger, in backups, in caches, on other people's screens. Delete removes your copy, not every copy out there. Nothing truly vanishes. So let's pull all the way back. Your simple tap set off packets that leapt by radio, raced down a wire, hopped across cities, dove under an ocean, and reached a warehouse full of computers. That's the internet. Not a magic cloud in the sky, but a vast physical machine wrapping the whole Earth. Glass threads, pulses of light, spinning routers, and humming warehouses, all cooperating. No single owner. Next time a video just appears on your screen, you'll know the truth. It swam across the planet through the dark as light in glass in a heartbeat. And now you can picture the machine.